Shark King coming at you with another episode. And in this video, I wanted to talk about the a lot of um, the claims and alleged sexual um, incidents that's been going on in the news, and especially when it comes to Tavis Smiley. Now, I've been I've been a fan of Tavis Smiley for a long time, and his situation is a lot different from Harvey Weinstein uh, and a lot of these other guys, and even Russell Simmons and a lot of these other guys. I don't know the Russell Simmons situation. I don't know the details, but all I heard about Russell Simmons, he said he's being set up, and which could be true. And Tavis Smiley's situation, I saw him on, I think it was CNN yesterday, a couple days ago, and he said he has his own company, and PBS is a distributor for him for his show, and he said he makes his own rules in his company, which he can. He hired people to work for him, and he said he doesn't tell his employees that they can have relationships with people within the workplace. And I think that's fair. I don't think anything wrong with that. If it's your company, you can make your own rules. Now, if you work for another corporation, you're supposed to abide by their own rules. However, now he's doing business. Tavis is doing business with PBS, their distributor, and he has his own company. But if they don't like something that's going on within his company, they can choose not to do business with him anymore. But they cannot slander him in the public eye. So that's what he has a problem with. He's suing. I think he's in the process of suing PBS because they slandered his name within the media. And he said he lost a lot of sponsors and lost a lot of money. He said they slandered his name in the press without doing an investigation. He said they started the investigation afterwards. And I feel him on that, you know. I feel him on that, but that's kind of to be expected. I mean, if you're not gonna get the benefit of the doubt, we don't. That's been a pattern in the mainstream media. So that's what Tavis Smiley's suing for, slander. Now, see, I have my own. See, if you work for a corporation, um, I just never seen it worked out. I just, this is based on my experience and what I've seen over the years. When it comes to talking to women in the workplace, if you're a coworker, I just say don't do it. Just don't do it. It's just not gonna go well. I just never seen it work out for anybody, including myself. It's just now the only way I've seen it work is when the two people are in management or above management as far as dating and having relationships go. But if you're a coworker with a woman, especially if you're in management and she's subordinate working under you, oh, that's the worst position for you to be in. I'm gonna tell you why. See, what happens with a lot of women, if let's say you're a supervisor and this woman works under you, any woman. A lot of guys that are supervisors, they have sex with the women. This happens. It's just how it is. It happens. It's gonna happen. And the people in management, the CEOs and these companies, they know it's gonna happen. People are going to fraternize and have sex and have relationships. They already know it's gonna happen. This is why a lot of times if things go bad, the companies don't want to be reliable for anything. So they'll just get rid of both of y'all or transfer you to another site, another building or something like that. They just don't want to be reliable for the situation, you know. And they have money in their budget to take care of all this stuff, just in case one person threatens to sue or something like that, which that's like the worst case scenario. So, see, the problem is, a lot of women, if you're in a position of authority, you're a supervisor or manager, a lot of women, it's kind of weird, man. A lot of women feel like they're obligated to sleep with the certain guys. And this might be kind of weird, sound a little weird to you, especially if you're a guy. But there's a lot of women that I know that I still know to this day, and I've seen this. They feel they'll do almost anything to keep their job. So if they have to sleep with the supervisor, sleep with the boss, I mean, they'll do almost anything. So which puts you as a supervisor, puts you kind of at risk because you have the power in most cases to hire, fire, promote, and demote this person in the company that you're working for. So a lot of women would feel like, they got to do what they got to do to keep their job. And see, if it goes bad, a lot of these women, they do what they do, and when things don't go the way they would like, after the fact of doing what they done, as far as their actions go, a lot of them have been or do things out of spite. And see, as a man in a position of authority, that puts you at a great disadvantage. See, so that's the problem with that. That's why I say just don't sleep with no woman in the workplace. Don't do it. It's just not going to go well in most cases. I just haven't seen it go well. The only time I've seen it go well, work out, is if you're a manager, the woman's manager, or maybe you're a general manager, or maybe the woman's general manager and you're vice president. So either you're the same on the same level playing field, or you're just a step above. That's the only way I've seen those relationships work out. But for the most part, if you got a coworker that and y'all work together, that relationship is bound to fail. I mean, I've just never seen it work out, man. You know, it's like I remember one time I was working for a company in North Carolina, and uh, I was working at this branch bank, and the manager claimed that I was being a gigolo and talking to too many women. So as a result of that, I got transferred. So I wasn't even I wasn't even I didn't have no relationships with women. I was just talking to women in a casual conversation as they come in and out the bank every day, 5 days a week. And I got transferred for that. So I'm like, what am I supposed to do? I mean, am I supposed? Is it not in the policy that you can't talk to the customers when they come into the bank? And the manager, regional manager, said, no, that's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. But they still have to transfer you to another location because the branch manager don't want you there, and the company looks at it as a liability. You know, because so it's crazy. You know, it's crazy. It's just this turn. Come to find out, this is 6 months later. I found out by the same guy, regional manager. He told me the reason why the branch manager wanted you to leave is because he said because he thought I was trying to talk to a woman that he was interested in talking to. So this is a nonsense that goes on in these offices. So it's like you know sometimes even if you don't necessarily do anything wrong, you're still going to be wrong. You know what I'm saying? This is why I say just don't have relations at work with none of these women. It's just not going to go well, you know. And even today, especially, you can't even give a woman a compliment, without her saying, "Hey, that's sexual harassment." You can't even do that today. So it's like, I mean, what are you supposed to say? You're not supposed to say anything. You're supposed to be like a robot. You're not. I mean, so that's how it is today. If you tell a woman, "I like your hair," that could be taken as sexual harassment. If she doesn't like you, doesn't like how you look, doesn't feel like you should be giving her the compliment, you know, I just say don't do it, man. Just don't do it. That's all I say. Seeing like Tavis Smiley's position. See, he's the owner of his company, and even though he hired, I think he got a staff of about 10 people, if I'm not mistaken. I think at least 10 people. Uh, you know, based on what he said. And see, even and most, I think it's 8 women and 2 guys. 8 women and 2 guys. Now, being that he's the owner, he's the boss, he make his own rules. Um, Even though he said some people have had worked with him in the past and left. And he said maybe some are vindictive. And then he said he doesn't even know who made the claims. They never told him who made the claims. PBS never told him. So that's kind of weird. He doesn't know who, the name of the person or anything, male or female. He doesn't know if the person still worked there for his company, or he doesn't know if the person used to work there. So he doesn't know. Tavis doesn't know where these accusations is coming from. So that's kind of weird right there. But being that he's the boss, a lot of these women, even some guys, depending on what type of guy he is, will do anything to keep their job. And they don't do anything to keep their job. And see, it's some people that's in charge, position authority, boss, supervisor. Some guys will play on that shit. True. Some guys will play on that. So it really goes both ways. You got on one side of the coin, you got the employees, the women especially, will do anything to keep their job. And you got the owner, the boss, the supervisor, will take advantage of situations like that. So you just never know who's doing what. But you know that women like being around the movers and shakers. We know this. It just is what it is. So women are going to sleep. There's some woman in the office is going to sleep with Tavis. That's just what it is. Right or wrong, but that's just women just like being around guys just like that. That's just what it is. But I'm telling you, even still then, you should not do it. It's just not going to go well. So sometimes you have to be, I've learned over the years, I've learned the hard way, trust me. Sometimes you have to be the bigger person. You just have to be like, I know she wants me. I know she wants to get a piece of me. But I'm not going to do it. I'm going to keep it. I'm going to keep my business and my personal life separate. That's just the best way to do it, man. See, a lot of people, the workspace, the place of business, the workforce. See, a lot of people, that's like their playground. They like to combine both. They like to have work and play in the same environment. See, a lot of people are like that. I don't agree with that. Some people can pull it off, but most people can't. It's just going to go bad. It just is. It's going to go bad, man. I try to keep my business, my personal life separate. I don't like it to cross over to one another. The old saying goes, "Don't mix your honey with your money." Just don't do it. It's just not going to work out, man. It's just not. And that's probably what happened to Tavis. And that's probably what happened to Russell. That's what probably happened to all these guys, man. But I know some guys are like predators. And even some women. There's some women in a position of authority as well. There's some women as CEOs and president and COO out here. They do the same thing too. Now, don't get it twisted. Don't get it twisted now. There's some women out here that proposition guys just like some guys proposition women. Don't get it twisted. I know some guys that have, worked under women in position of authority. And I had some guys told me they felt like they had to sleep with the boss to keep his job. So it happens, man. Especially in the music business. That's like in Hollywood, especially in entertainment. business. Oh man, that whole business model is set up like that. You know, I mean, it's women that come through the door that want to get signed. They're willing to do whatever it takes for them to get on from day one. They be like, who I gotta lay up with, who I gotta sleep with. I'm trying to get on. So it's women that come through the door like this sometimes. And then you got other women that they get proposition. You know, you might have a lot of producers do this. I mean, you got like some of the top producers, and maybe they do, you know, rap, R&B, you know, or even pop music. They'll be like, hey, you know, they'll find out what the person budget is. Hey, what's your budget? It might be 50,000 or whatever, you know, or 100,000 or 1,000,000, whatever. It's probably not 1,000,000 today, you know, but let's just say the person got a budget of 100,000, and maybe for one beat, one studio session is 50,000 for this guy, right? But he might proposition her and say, hey, you know what? I can cut you a deal. You know, if you meet me at the hotel. Or you might say something like this. If you go out on a date with me, I'll work with you. I'll cut your deal. But that could be viewed as sexual harassment. Or if you say, let's say if you're in a position to hire people, hire a woman, and you say, hey, you can work for me if you go out on a date with me, or if you go to the bar for a drink with me, I'll hire you then. That could be taken as sexual harassment. You know what I'm saying? And I know a guy, check this out. I know a guy that was just joking around last week. And he was like, yo, I got this small little project going on. And she said, hey, I would like to work with you. I'll help you out doing whatever. You know what I'm saying? Because she's part-time now. And she was like, and he was like, if you go out of town with me for Thanksgiving weekend to Myrtle Beach, you can work with me. That could be taken as sexual harassment. You know what I'm saying? Because if she ain't down with it, you know, it could go left. It could go bad. You know what I'm saying? So you got to you got to choose your words wisely out here. You really have to. And if a woman, and one thing I can say, if a woman doesn't like you, almost anything you say, she's not going to like. You can't look. If a person doesn't like you, there's nothing you can say to them that's going to be nice. So you really have to choose your words wisely. I learned this over the past 20 years. If a person likes you, if a woman likes you, they'll let you slide with a lot of shit. They'll let you slide with a lot of stuff. It won't even be a big deal, you know, because there's been things that I've done that I do normally to people that I'm close to, or people that I like, or people I've known for a long time. I'll do these things to people that I just met a couple days ago, maybe a week or two ago, and I do it automatically. And it never backfired, because the only reason why it never backfired on me is because the person liked me, so I could get away with it. Even though maybe I caught a couple women off guard a couple of times, but I never got a bad response. because they like me. Now, if they didn't like me, maybe I'd have got a negative response. So you got to really be careful and pay attention to women. You got to be aware of and conscious of what you do when you're out and about. You really have to. You know, you can't leave things by chance. You can't act like just because you're cool with something that everybody else is cool. You can't assume like that. You can't leave things by chance like that. You know. Well, man, I'm gonna leave you with this. A wise man once told me, if you want change, you gotta change. And when he said that, that kind of went over my head. He said, if you want change, you gotta change. So I asked him, I said, hey, what do you mean? He said, if you want things to change in your life, you have to change first, and your relationships will change, and how people react to you will start to change. And everything else around you will, your relationship will change basically with everything around you. And the more you grow, the more things will get better and progress. And he said, you will look back one day and you probably be shocked how far you came. But even still then, you're still gonna have a long way to go, because either you're growing or dying. And if you're like kind of like not growing, you're dying too. There's no neutral playground. So that's all I got, man, in this video. So hey, man, check out my books, Love Can't Wait, which can be found on Amazon.com. Get all the gear. Hustle for your last name, baby. At ChooseYourRelationships.com, and the links will be below as well. And check out my Patreon, patreon.com/sharpgame. I'm gonna do a video on Patreon this week. It's gonna be about how to get everything you want, how to start doing that, and what's the results that you can get. And I'm gonna tell you why I started doing what I've started doing, and how I started to get big breakthroughs, major breakthroughs in almost every aspect of my life. So that's going to be on Patreon. So if you want to get that, you can go and subscribe over there. But that's what I want to talk about. See, nothing really changed for me until I started doing this one thing. And that's when everything started to change. That's when I started meeting better quality people. I started making more money. I started, just having a much more productive life. I started having more fun. I started, and women came about by default. That's one thing you might not know about me. I've never been. It's not just about women. It's much bigger than women. I've never really got caught up in just chasing women. I never really done that. I never really had to do that, because this world is much bigger than just women. So I'm gonna talk about that on Patreon. You know. So hey, that's all I got in this video. Until next time, I'm out. Peace.